Chris Dale, what's coming up?
Richard James, you are coming up. You are the special guest interviewee this week.
I like the sound of that. Jamie, what have you got for us?
We have great messages from our Podsterons.
And of course, we have an episode from the Randomiser.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James, and Chris Dale.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Richard.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Richard. Hello, Jamie.
Hello, everyone.
And, there's one person we haven't said hello to.
Oh.
And that is this little fellow here.
Oh.
I thought you meant Ross.
Oh,
hello, Ross.
No, hi, Ross. But what we're really interested in is the new Space Precinct
It's
Blu-ray box set.
Oh, and isn't it lovely?
Look at that.
Well, I mean, it's all in cellophane currently,
It's
so
cellophane, but who cares?
it is a lovely
beautiful.
thing. It's weighty enough to do some serious
Damage.
GBH, I would
Yes.
say.
Oh, I say so. Yes.
Yeah.
All 24 episodes, a 2-hour documentary,
Yeah.
a brand new episode, Slow-Mo Lost Little Robot.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
sweet, that.
All sorts of other extras.
Series 2 test footage,
Amazing.
movie versions. Yeah.
Wonderful
It's all
booklet
good.
detailing the
Yes,
history of the
wonderful
series.
booklet.
Poster.
The poster
Yeah,
is
ca-
lovely.
Counterfeit. Money.
Yes.
Episode commentaries by
Oh, really?
yourself and I.
It's all in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Incredible. And to celebrate, Chris, you will be talking to me a little later on.
I shall.
About my time on Space Precinct.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you know, I was in it.
You may have mentioned it, and this is
We
not
should have
a...
interviewed you for this.
If only,
Oh,
yes.
no.
Yes. So, Podsterons, if you were thinking
Still.
interviewing Richard was a mark of desperation and the fact that we perhaps had a guest not show up or something, that is absolutely not the case.
No.
It's absolutely that we're celebrating 30 years of Space Precinct.
30 years of Space
Who would
Precinct.
have thought it's gone very quick?
And I would say this is the final word. I watched the documentary last night, all 2 hours of it, and it kind of feels like the final word on the series. Everyone's in there from Tom Guttridge, one of the producers, and obviously Gerry is in there, and Neil Gordon, Gary Pollard,
Steve Begg.
Begg, Mary Woodvine, David Quilter,
Marcia Gay.
Sharon Mansfield, Lindsay Harris,
Charlotte Serple.
Charlotte
Marks.
Serple.
All right, that's enough
Amazing.
now.
A lot of people, yeah.
There's a
Absolutely
lot.
amazing. So, well done to you, Chris.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, and also thank you to those who submitted archive interviews and such. With we have Paul Coutroulier supplied a massive amount of
Thank you,
material
Paul.
for
Great.
for that, and
Yep.
also various people who did archive interviews at the time.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, lovely to see Ted in there looking so young.
Yes.
Well, we all looked quite young, to be fair.
I had a full head of hair back then. so.
Yes, that's right. I also want to thank the Podsterons who've been in touch to ask me questions, and we'll be answering those a little later on in our special feature to celebrate 30 years of Space Precinct. They've also been commenting on our YouTube channel.
Oh, have they now?
Jamie, do you want to read out maybe a comment or two from Pod 352?
Yes, with Lindsay Harris.
Yes, and we watched Four Feather Falls, I remember.
First one says, Dear Jamie, Richard and Chris,
Yes.
I wasn't feeling well and decided to watch some Gerry Anderson goodness, which led me to watching this little gem, The Secret Service. Oh. I think we've heard of that.
Yeah.
What a fantastic little series. It was fantastic. Clearly
we are.
fantastic.
Yes, clearly.
And a little series. I see what he did there.
Yeah, little nice.
yeah.
Apart from one episode, it's a great programme. Which episode, though?
Well, we must know.
I would guess it's the dream episode where it gets extra freaky.
Probably the
But,
dream one.
Yeah.
It's always the dream ones that let down. Also, looking forward to the Thunderbirds Blu-ray. Keep up the excellent content. FAB from Captain Mikey.
That's nice.
Recent promotion there. I think he was
Oh, yes.
previously Lieutenant Mikey.
Was he?
I believe so.
Oh, obviously.
It's nice to see that the Secret Service can help people feel better.
Yes.
Yeah, it does, except for the dreamy.
Except for, well,
Episodes.
it might not be that episode.
It might be.
Completely.
Also,
But it probably is.
I'm always haunted by the puppet getting onto the motorbike in the giant red coat and it actually being a slightly larger build man in a wig and a red
Who
coat.
adjusts himself as he sits down.
Yes.
Great.
We'll have to show you that one.
I'm going to watch that for sure. One for you there, Chris,
Yes,
I think.
this is from Tilly Keeper.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Jamie.
Hello.
We're not mentioned.
Just me. That's
Just
nice,
you.
isn't it?
My name is Tilly Keeper.
Hello,
I am
Tilly.
a massive fan of Thunderbirds and Space 1999. That's good to
Lovely.
know.
Yes, fair
I
enough.
would like the Protectors Blu-ray and soundtrack, please,
dear.
and the Investigator Blu-ray, please.
Yes, please.
Well,
We have news on that.
No, we don't have news on that. We don't have news on that. So, the Protectors, as we mentioned before, is quite tricky. 16 mil.
Shame.
How many episodes?
52.
52. No, I was going to say 48. 52 episodes of 16 mil stuff, which would all need to be newly scanned and fully restored. That is a lot of work and a lot of money. And it's not the most popular
I'd
show.
buy them all. What about if I bought them all?
I'll buy them all.
What,
as well.
every
That's
single
two
copy?
sticks,
Halves?
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
every, just print those, however many you need
Yeah.
to print. I'll buy half of them, and Chris will buy the other
So
half.
2,500 copies each. Yeah?
We'll sell them at an exorbitant markup,
Yeah.
and we'll make a fortune.
Okay, well then in that case, if they stick to that contractual agreement, then that'll happen, Tilly, but I think not. The Investigator, it's possible. It's something that we could look at. Very niche.
And
Yeah.
there has been a Protector's soundtrack before
Yes.
from Network, which is, I think it's going for silly money on eBay now. But we could look at...
We could look at that, actually,
I
yeah.
think for the soundtrack, that'd be amazing.
I'm going to send a message immediately
Great.
on
You
that
do
very
that.
note,
Yes.
so
Well,
give me 1 second.
Why don't you
I'll
do that? Here's a comment from Priscilla Brown. As I mentioned, we watched an episode of Four Feather Falls on that podcast. A show like Four Feather Falls, says Priscilla, while it has historical value, would not be made today. And I'm guessing it's one of the Anderson productions that doesn't get a lot of screen time outside of home DVD and digital distribution. Fair comment, would you say?
I'm not aware that digital distribution is even a thing for Four Feather Falls. It is
No,
just
it's really not,
DVD.
I think.
I have sometimes wondered if there was going to be a show remade. Four Feather Falls would make a sort of charming little CGI
Absolutely.
thing.
Why wouldn't you make it today?
Yeah.
I mean, there might be certain details that you might omit or amend, but you
might
could.
be some
But the broad
changes.
scope of it could work.
Yeah, do sort of period westerns appeal to kids
I don't
now?
know. There's a gap in the market there then.
Could be a gap in the
Yes.
market, or it could be, I mean, kids' content is so tricky now to get,
I mean, you
to get
wouldn't
away.
want it to be a sort of mind-numbing thing like Paw Patrol. You would want a bit
Chris,
of
Paw
sort of
Patrol
class
has been
in
an
there.
enormous global success.
I know,
so
but
perhaps we
having
would want it to be
suffered
that.
through more than my share of it with two young nieces. But speaking of Four Feather Falls and Blu-rays, what if we? How likely is Four Feather Falls on Blu-ray?
Gosh, I mean, I feel like it's neck and neck with the Protectors, to be
Really?
quite honest.
Wow.
I mean, it's the demand versus the cost. I mean, I don't think people realise the true cost of these things. It's a vast amount of time and money to get these things restored.
Right.
So very, very tricky to make a case for it. But, if there is an unknown, hitherto unknown Four Feather Falls fan club out there with 100,000 members and you all want to buy the Blu-ray, do write in.
Imagine. I think they would have been in touch by now, don't
Possibly,
you?
or they might just not be interested because they're not interested in the wider world of Anderson.
Yes, yes.
It's quite possible.
Yes, well,
It's
true
certainly
enough.
an easier prospect on Blu-ray than The Protectors.
It is an easier prospect, Chris. You're right.
And Crossroads to Crime?
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's the easiest.
I
of
mean,
all.
so that wouldn't go within our ITV deal. We'd have to talk to Studio Canal about that.
Well,
so
talk to them
why
then.
don't? All right.
And then on to what
I've just
everyone
done-
wants, which is 4K Torchy.
Okay, I mean,
myself out.
I was taking this seriously until you said that. But I am going to quickly send a note.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to do
Yes,
this
we're on,
live.
Well, also, while you're doing that, why don't you tell us the Gerry Anderson
I
news?
can't do it all at once. Right, we'll have to
Just stop for a moment.
do the Gerry Anderson news first.
Okay.
It's the Gerry Anderson news first. It's the Gerry Anderson news.
Hooray!
That's the most in sync we've been for months, I'd say.
It's nice.
Over to you, Jamie Anderson,
For the news.
for the news,
Okay.
which we were about to do anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a theme coming out here because today people have been saying, "Can you do this?" And I've been
Yes.
going off and trying to enact it immediately.
As you should.
Well, I can't always do it immediately, but I'm sure you recall over the last 100 pods or so, we've had several emails and comments from people. No, it's not about process crime. No, stop it. We've had several emails from people saying, I don't have space for physical big books on my bookshelf.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Or I
It
don't
is a
like
problem.
having them. I want digital. I'm a digital
Yes.
person. And I said, well, we don't do the digital versions currently, but we're going to look into it.
That's what you've been saying.
Well, we've looked into it. And
We can't do it.
no, we can
yeah.
do it. And from this week, you will be able to get a range of our historic titles as ebooks from the Gerry Anderson store, as
Nice.
EPUB and PDF. Those are your choices, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
Including
Yes.
the Terrorhawks comic anthology,
Right.
UFO comic anthology volume 1 and 2, out of print now, and the Fireball XL5 comic anthology, which has been
nice.
out for a long time and
Yes.
goes for stupid prices on eBay. Well,
Right.
scalpers,
There you go.
beware, because you can't sell it for 100
anymore.
quid now because you can get the PDF or the EPUB from GerryAnderson.com from the
brilliant.
4th of April.
Well done.
Very nice.
There you go.
Well
So
done,
more
yes.
to come. So
Great.
stand by for more of those
Oh.
in due course. But let us know if you're happy, if you like the formatting, the way it's done, or you don't, because it's a new area for us. And so Steph and Co have worked really hard to make that happen. So
Lovely.
thank you, Steph and Co.
Yes.
Brilliant.
T-shirt news. T-shirt news.
Oh, yes. Do we have a special thing for that? Or
No,
not?
there's no claps,
An
there's no
alarm?
siren.
Oh, okay.
Imagine there is.
Yeah.
Thunderbird 2 T-shirt.
Oh,
Just
yes.
people asking for more things,
Of course
more
they are.
stuff, more variety.
Yeah.
It's lovely. Oh, the big arced Thunderbirds variant logo with Thunderbird 2 on it. It's nice. It's cute.
Is it green, did you say?
Thunderbird 2 is green.
No, I mean the T-shirt.
No, the T-shirt's a dark colour. I'm not sure which one.
Okay, right now.
I'm not in charge of these things, but it'll be probably navy or black or dark grey or something like that, because every time we do a white T-shirt, nobody buys it. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's more T-shirts. We've got quite a nice range back now, because again, for a while we did these print-on-demand ones, and then we had some problems with production. They weren't good enough, so we sacked them off, and now we're kind of building up the range again. So go and have a look for T-shirts. It's just the weather's turning that way,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
Anderson
At last.
T-shirts galore.
Oh, great.
Final Anderson galore thing.
Ooh.
The 14th of April is...
A Wednesday? It's not actually.
It's a Monday,
Monday,
and it is the birthday of
Gerry Anderson. It's
Gerry Anderson Day.
Yes. 14th of April.
Yes.
I mean,
What are we
you didn't
doing?
need to draw that out. You could have just done in chorus.
I know.
It's Gerry Anderson Day. Anyway, Gerry Anderson Day is coming, and we are doing a special live stream.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you're invited. I think you've said you're coming. Are you coming? You said tentatively accepted, I think.
I had the invite, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so we might be doing a live stream from this very room
Great.
where we will be showcasing a load of stuff that's coming up later this year with actual prototypes and cover reveals
Really?
and new things and maybe some play along elements, Richard, because I rely
Yes,
I rely
please.
on you for those things. Yes.
What? Like what?
I don't know what the things that we used to do on Fab Live.
Super identification.
I see.
Maybe not that.
Oh.
Blankety blank and
Oh, yes.
the
Fab or
other
Fib.
Fab or Fib. We could play that maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
we can do
know.
that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks for the warning.
Okay,
That
well,
gives me a couple
Podsterons,
of
if
weeks.
you'd like that for 7 p.m. UK time on the 14th of April,
Right.
please do let us know and join us there on YouTube and other platforms or something.
Nice.
Yeah, amazing.
Good.
We'll see you there.
We will. That's all.
Right.
Which makes that the end of this week's Gerry Anderson News.
That was the news, the newsy, news. That was the news.
Why is he doing Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen?
I've given up at this point. I'm in end of term mode, and I'm just going to pull things out of the air.
It is a lovely moment when we both look at Chris and there's a flash of fear across his face.
So it is, isn't it? Sweet. Anyway, Chris, relax, because all you're going to do now is talk to me about Space Precinct.
What, again? Well,
Hello.
this is a bit odd because normally I'm sat there and you're
Yeah.
sat here
Yeah.
and we've swapped over, and I suppose now I should really ask you
Yes.
some questions.
Oh, go on then.
About Space Precinct.
Yes.
What with it being 30th anniversary,
Can you believe
we
it?
have a lovely new Space Precinct Blu-ray collection here. You've just written a Space Precinct novel,
Yes.
Fight the Future.
Yes.
We have always been doing Space Precinct things on the side. What with your Unmasked? That was your
The first book,
Yes.
which I wrote 10 years ago now,
10 years?
about my experience
Oh,
working on
no.
the series, yes.
Oh wow! So
That's
it's-
right.
It keeps coming back.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Yeah, amazing. And the time has flown by.
It has flown by, because, of course, back in the day, 30 years ago, when I was filming the series, I never dreamed that I'd be talking about it 30 years later, first of all, on a podcast, or whatever that may have been. Would have no idea,
no.
1994. But also
Or a Blu-ray. What's
Or a
this?
Blu-ray, yeah. Or
Magic.
also that I would have written new Gerry Anderson Space Precinct adventures for the officers of Precinct 88. There was the, I adapted the unfilmed pilot episode, Denver City. And then 4 new adventures, Space Precinct Revisited as well. And now, as you say, Fight the Future to mark 30 years.
So it keeps going. It's
Yes.
not bad for a show that ran for one season, and we can, I think, generously say was not Gerry's most popular or successful series.
I think we can say that. I think we would be saying something different had it run for another year or two. I think it might have been held in higher regard because, the problems that are very well documented, I think would have been ironed out in those subsequent series.
Absolutely,
And we might be talking about it in very different terms.
Because as you say, very often the first season of a show is not the greatest. You mentioned on there Star Trek The Next Generation as a case in point. It's like, where would this have gone for a second series and a third series? Mm-hmm. We'll never know.
Well, one thing I found very interesting in your fantastic documentary on the box set there is the interview with Tom Gutteridge, one of the producers.
Yes, who's fascinating.
Who said that had the series continued, he suspected it would have continued probably without Jerry's input.
Jerry, that was quite surprising. Yes.
Yeah, because he felt it should have been tailored more to the American market. And actually, Jerry's influence was holding that back to some degree. So
that's strange.
Very interesting.
Again, it's an example of so many people had so many things that they wanted out of this show, and I don't know to what extent anyone came away from it particularly satisfied.
Yeah, that's right.
But it has its following.
It does.
It's not a large following, but it is.
Well, I think we were both pleasantly surprised earlier when Jamie told us how many box sets they printed and how many had sold already.
That was quite impressive,
So actually, you say there isn't much of an audience, but there is an audience out there who want to see it at its best. It will never look better than this. And
unless the original negatives turn up, but that's a bit of a long shot.
Yeah.
Anyway, when our Podsterons, who you may know are the listeners of this podcast, I don't have to explain anything to you. We're not playing super identification. He chickened out of that.
Well, it's a little bit pointless, isn't it?
It does, yes.
Although I would get full marks, of course.
I think you should by now, yes. But we have quite a few questions that people have sent in.
Great.
So let's get started with our first question.
Yep.
This is from Jack McMorrow. He says, "Hi, Richard. Is it true that you were in Space Precinct?"
Jack, how did you know? I try and keep that to myself.
Very quiet.
Yeah, he must have found out. He must have done a bit of research on the internet about that.
Yeah, I suspect so.
Because
I
was
talk about it
in Space Precinct.
Yeah,
that's true.
Who are you again?
Well, I was a multitude of characters, as you know, but mainly known for Officer Orrin.
We have him here in plastic form.
I mean, that is quite something. To have a toy made of oneself is... it's quite lovely, isn't it?
I liberated him from an antique shop in Herne Bay.
Gary Hodgkinson sent me a version of this toy. I think it's still in the card at home. It was Officer Orrin's head, but Captain Bodley's body.
Yes.
Which must be worth literally pennies, I would think.
But, great fun. Well, Robert Cassidy is the next question.
Oh, yes,
He says, "Hi, Richard. If you were producing a remake of Space Precinct, who would be your top 3 actor picks to appear in the show?" Doesn't specify roles.
Oh, that's difficult, isn't it? Top 3 actor picks.
Top 3 actor picks.
I mean, I don't see why Simone Bendix couldn't come back and
why not?
we could rejoin Officer Castle 30 years later. She's living in Paris at the moment, I think. Not sure if she's still acting. I guess, I mean, would we have to recast Brogan and Haldair?
Well, you'd be back, obviously.
I'd be back. It wouldn't matter, would it?
No.
And likewise, Mary Woodvine, David Quilter, wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd both be up for another year under the mask. That's interesting.
So you wouldn't fancy having a go at being Captain Orrin? Stepping into Jerome's
That would be nice, wouldn't it, I suppose? Would that be a logical progression? That would work, perhaps? It'd be a very different Orrin, wouldn't it? Very older, wiser, more mature Orrin.
Still living with his mum.
Almost certainly. Yeah.
So we've had some questions. We'll have some more in a bit. But let's have a clip now.
Yes.
This, I believe, is the very first scene that you recorded for Space Precinct. So let's take a look at this.
Great.
That does it. I don't want Matt hanging with this Nazi character anymore.
Patrick, he's...
We'll finish this later. Yeah.
Hey, Brogan, we just answered a 187 down here in District 9.
You'll be interested in the particulars. Go ahead.
We got a double-sided special with an extra triple topping a lizard with black crystal on the side and a dead dealer on the wall.
Looks like the same hitter that took out Nism is still at work. Any leads?
Just one. Central Tracking's got a lock on your mystery pizza bike.
Where?
District 6. Headed your way.
Kate.
Yeah, off we go. Fantastic music from Christopher Barrell.
Yes.
Isn't it great?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
From the very first episode, the music is gorgeous.
Yes, absolutely. So that's double duty. That scene was my very first day's work on Space Precinct, and it was quite a worry, actually. I remember, firstly, the battery pack caught fire in my trousers, which many people will know.
Yes.
And I remember Nigel Travessi, who was one of the operators, was kind of fussing around trying to get this battery out of my pocket because, of course, the button had been fastened over the pocket. So he was fumbling whilst it was on fire to try and get this thing out. And there was a degree of panic over that. But also it was a worry because I think it was brought home to a lot of people quite how difficult it was going to be for us in those masks. It got easier because we got used to it, of course, but in those early days, I remember having to be led onto that set because we couldn't see, and it was pretty much in darkness. So we were literally being led, taken by the hand, and led and being put into position. And you could sort of see the crew all looking at each other thinking, is this the way it's going to be for a year? Because this is going to take an awful long time to get...
But it doesn't seem to have taken that long. I remember I was watching an episode, I can't remember what one, but I want to say it's like episode 10 or 11. There's a shot of David Quilter walking out of Podley's office, walking down the spiral stairs to the ground floor, and there's no hesitation. No. He just does it, which is quite incredible.
It is incredible.
So did you find it was easier to get around after a while?
I think we just had to take a leap of faith and not be scared.
Yeah.
I suppose in a way we were protected. If we bumped our heads on anything, that's fine because we've got this great prosthetic helmet on our heads to protect it. But I think it was just a matter of going, okay, I've got to do this scene, I've got to walk in there, or I've got to skip, or I've got to run into that, I've got to, whatever it might be, I've just got to do it. And, looking back at some of it now, I think we were just very brave.
I suppose it helped as well that you weren't the only one in that situation.
Yeah.
You have Mary and Lou and Tom and David as well, and of course Jerome.
And we'd take a long time to sort of maybe pace the scene out. You'd have a very brief rehearsal, but also if you could, and as we got used to the set, you'd know how to sit down, where the chairs were going to be, all that kind of thing, where to look for the door and all that sort of thing. Because, of course, sometimes you have to realise that, that the mask may not be looking where you are looking.
Oh, yes.
So you have to kind of compensate sometimes for that. I mean, Mary talks in the documentary there about having to adjust her head.
Yes.
So that Took's eye line was, facing her fellow actor.
I think Lindsay, I can't remember if it's in the documentary or not, but he mentioned on more than one occasion action was called and alien actors just walked into a wall because they weren't where they thought they were supposed to be.
Absolutely, yeah, that's right, exactly.
So that was...
Yeah. And sometimes we were just forgotten about. I do remember being forgotten about because, it's very easy to see someone in a mask as just like a kind of an object, a thing.
Yeah.
So, very often you'd have people, coming over and putting, even on the masks, they would retouch the makeup and so on. And then you would still be standing there minutes later thinking they were still going, but they'd walked off and not told you.
Oh.
Things like that was quite funny.
But you just got used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it, exactly.
Richard Goodborn says, hi, Richard.
Hello.
Which Space Precinct directors were the best and worst to work with? I'm guessing the worst would be the director who called you a lazy dunce.
Yes. Yes, it wasn't actually a dunce. That's a very cleaned up version.
Word, shall we
I wouldn't say what it was. My favourite director was John Glenn, who I bumped into recently, actually, at a memorabilia fair.
We wanted to talk to him for this, but we weren't sure. We hear various stories about his.
Yeah, he seemed okay, actually.
Yeah,
I mean, he's much older, of course, but he seems in good
Did he recognise you?
He did.
Oh,
it did help that I had Charlotte with me, who he also recognised. It was great working with John. John was fantastic. Obviously, a great legacy of working on the Bond films. Yeah. So I was in awe of him immediately. Loved working with him, and he was also the first to offer me other roles, I think, which was nice.
Yeah.
I think we had a very bad experience with Silvio Narazzano, who came to direct Helter Skelter. That was not a very happy set at all, and ended up with it's well documented. Ended up in an argument with Ted Shackleton, a slanging match, a shouting match on set,
which ended with him saying, "I'm going to get you thrown off this show." Or something.
That's
really
not
happening.
Is it?
Yes.
And he was let go, and our first AD Clive Reed stepped in to direct the rest of the episode. I think, certainly for a day or two, and then maybe I think Peter Duffel or somebody came in to finish the episode. Yeah, that episode you mentioned, there was Piers Haggard who called me the lazy dunce, and he was quite right. That was because, as the story I've told before, I had neglected to read my amended pages, my pink pages, that very often came late in the day and often included little changes of dialogue, and I hadn't bothered to read it, so I got my lines wrong. And I kind of blamed other people for it. Very, a learning experience. I was only 25.
Thought you knew it all.
Thought I knew it all. I'd been on it for almost a year. What did I care? But he was quite right. I was indeed a lazy dunce.
Don't suppose you remember what that episode was. I know it's easy. It would be easy to look up Peter's directing credits, but
I think it was I think it was Death Watch. I think it was the last. One of the last. Death Watch Part 1 was filmed early, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was one of the Death Watches. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by then you really should have known better.
I should know better, and I do know better. I've never done that ever since.
Well, you mentioned John Glenn casting you in multiple roles.
Yes.
So should we take a look now at some of your other roles in Space Precinct?
Great.
Because you're very multi-talented.
Yeah, the tense music is a bit of a giveaway.
So this is Kamada from
Yes.
Predator and Prey.
That's it. In a nice spandex onesie
Yes.
under the cape.
Come on, whatever the hell you are! Come on!
Love this shot coming up here.
Oh, yeah. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my father, Mr. Palmer?
Oh, there's no easy way to
Kobana.
say this, kid.
Yep. So a John Glenn episode, illegal.
He's
This
gone.
is.
He's run away and left you.
I wonder what became of him. I must do a Google search for him.
Sometimes the strain of being...
I love that you have all these American accents, and then you have this guy not only keeping his English accent, but being a very stereotypical. Where's my father?
Yes,
Mr. Farmer?"
yes. True. I was playing this part as a kind of a broad northerner, actually.
Yeah?
Before it was revoiced. Yeah.
Oh.
Asking about a client.
Stephen, back off.
Your word.
Deadline.
Yeah.
Apparently, he disappeared from Paradise Street last night.
And that's you.
I've had enough of this.
Cool it, Doc.
I'm out.
Your own voice.
Yes, that's right. Another John Glenn episode.
Besides, you and your lovely wife really
And this
don't
was the
want to live
first
that nice,
role other
expensive
than Orrin
home
that
of
you
yours.
played.
Ah, right. Okay.
If we go down,
You go down. Right. Now that we have that settled, what's the species of our next donor?
Yeah, you see that. Although it had its frustrations working in the mask and so on, it brought benefits in that you could play
Yes.
multiple parts. I mean, the likes of Wayne Forrester and Rob Thurtle, Andy Dawson did it all the time, but it was quite nice for me to have an opportunity to play other roles as well.
Yeah. Did you find you were sort of getting bored with Orrin at times and welcomed the change, or was it?
Bored? I don't think I got bored. It was certainly nice to have a change, but I don't think I ever got bored playing Orrin because he had such fun plots. The comedy subplot was always me
yes.
and Lou eventually, or me and Tom to begin with. They're always fun to play.
Yeah. So we mentioned earlier you've written a Space Precinct novel.
Yes.
So bringing things right up to date, Jonathan
Yeah.
Westall says, "Hey Richard, will there be an audiobook version of Fight the Future? And if so, will you be reading it?"
Well, I won't be reading it. I don't think there will be. There may be, but it won't be me.
Okay.
But as far as I know, there won't be an audiobook version.
I think
Yeah.
if there were, it probably would have been alongside the launch of the
Yes,
book itself.
I just find it,
wouldn't
and that's my decision. That's entirely me, I'm afraid. But I just find it very difficult and not very fulfilling. I don't like being in a booth on my own.
Yeah.
I love doing audio drama, the stuff I've done with Big Finish and Anderson Entertainment and so
Yeah.
on. But then, of course, you're in a booth with other people and you're an acting company and you're playing off each other. But I find it very difficult just to stand, in a cupboard in my garage.
Yeah, it feels more like a sort of long slog of a marathon, doesn't it? to
Yes,
do
and I don't
those?
feel like I'm able to give of my best, really. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to produce anything that's kind of second rate. Never.
No. Rob Doyle, speaking of writing,
Yeah.
do you see yourself more as a writer now than an actor, or do they both hold the same importance? And will there be any more Inspector Bowman books? So for those who don't know, you wrote a series of
Yes.
detective novels.
That's right.
Victorian era,
Yes,
is that
that's
right?
it. Yes, set in the 1880s, the Bowman of the Yard series. 4 novels and 8 short stories, which was great fun to research and great fun to write, and nicely, very well received, which is very
Yes.
gratifying. There won't be any more. I think I've told that story. I did initially toy with the idea of writing, like 80 of them or something. But I think 4 is
yes.
enough. 4 novels. I consider myself an actor, really, although that's actually not where I spend most of my time, because as an actor, you spend very little time acting. But that's what I consider my profession. That's what it says on my passport. So I'm an actor first, but I have many strings to my bow. Podcasting, writing, playwright, all sorts. That's the thing you learn as an actor, is you have to find other things to do with your time and other sources of income.
Yeah.
Sadly. Or not sadly. It's been a great, broad, breadth of experiences, which has been
Yeah, you look
fascinating.
back at the things you've done just over the last 10 years, it's amazing.
Yes.
It's-
I mean, I never thought I'd be doing this. I never thought I'd be an interviewer or presenter.
No.
Or, it's, so it's constantly surprising.
Paul Hyde says, who made the biggest blunders while shooting, or did you ever forget your lines? But according to the producer, as told in the podcast live in Birmingham, did he really like you at all?
That must be the reference to the director who called me the lazy dunce earlier. I don't think he did like me, no. And that's fair enough. I don't blame him at all. I let myself down there. The biggest blunders, I mean, people forget lines all the time, and of course, as aliens with our masks and limited vision, we were walking into things and dropping things, and things went wrong all the time. I don't think anyone was more guilty than anyone else.
No. Well, speaking of things going wrong, Callum Parkin asks, do you remember the voice you originally gave to Orrin? How did it change when you found out your voice wouldn't be heard, and how did it feel to find out you were going to be dubbed?
Oh, yeah. It happened about 4, 5, 6 weeks in, I think. Every contract has a clause saying we reserve the right to revoice the actor, and you sign that contract but never think anything more about it. It's never happened to me before or since, but in that instance it did happen.
And you weren't the only one, of course.
I wasn't the only one, which helped, but I think I was the only one by the end.
From the regulars,
which I think smarted a bit. But I was young. I was only at a drama school 2 years. I knew that I was onto a good thing. I was on this massive series. You mentioned that it's not really considered the jewel in the Anderson crown, but it was big news back in the day. It was everywhere. Certainly all my friends, we've spoken to Dallas Campbell as a guest on here, and he auditioned for it.
Yes.
A number of my friends auditioned for it. Simone Bendix, I went to drama school, I was in her year, she was a friend, she auditioned for it, obviously, and got it. It was big news. Everyone, it seemed, in the country was auditioning for it.
Yeah.
It was in all the trade mags, it was in the popular press, it was in all the TV guides, features. I was in the Radio Times. The crayons were featured in the Face magazine, of all things. I'm sure I've got a copy somewhere. It was a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So actually, that was the counterpoint to the fact that, there were some moments where I felt frustrated or downhearted. The counterpoint to that was that I was working at L&M stage on a big budget year-long contract
with some big names as well.
With some very big names, exactly. So,
and you mentioned, or the question mentioned, the original voice.
Yeah,
we do have that one surviving clip. I believe it's from a deleted scene in Smelter Skelter.
That's right.
Of you doing Orrin's voice. Was that the voice that you started out with?
Yeah. So what you hear in that clip, I think it's on the DVD. It's also on the Bluray, as you mentioned. That's the voice I was using throughout. I mean, even once I knew I was going to be dubbed, of course, you still have to do the scene.
Yeah.
And have to use your voice.
It's fine.
So I was using the voice I had for Orrin, throughout the rest of the series, even though it was never heard. I think Kieran Jakinis, did a great job. It fits. It's fine. I mean, looking back, it doesn't matter at all, of course. It's not important to me now. And actually, his voice does fit the character. But the irony is, if asked, I could probably have approximated that voice, But there we are.
30 years ago.
Yes, I don't think it would happen now. I don't think they'd do it now, that sort of wholesale dubbing.
Oh, no, definitely not. Because it's one of these things where it really dates the show. It doesn't do anyone any favours, including the likes of Idris Elba and Ray Winston, when that's not their voices.
Yes.
But
I think you can get away with it, obviously, with the masked characters. But when they were just dubbing any old actor, it's very apparent sometimes.
Yeah, especially when it seemed like they only had 2 or 3 dubbers to do everything.
Right, exactly.
Steve Bushell says, well, we know that behind every great man is a great woman.
True.
And what a lovely lady she is.
Charlotte Serple,
Absolutely. Do you prefer to play a villain or a hero? Whilst acting, of course. What hero or villain would you love to be cast as?
Ooh, hero or villain?
Yes. I mean Bond is up for grabs.
Bond.
Yeah.
I suppose heroes, Bond has really become something of an anti-hero, isn't he? That's the thing. Because heroes generally aren't that interesting. That's why actors tend to want to play the villain. I think I'd prefer maybe someone like Richard III, who's a great Shakespearean villain, or Iago. I'd want to play, something like that.
Yeah.
I did a Sherlock Holmes theatre play in which, spoilers, I played the murderer. That was fun. To play a murderer, to play the big bad is quite nice, and to hear the gasp in the audience as the penny drops. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Gary Hodgkinson, after Space Precinct, does it surprise you that from time to time you have returned to have much work with Anderson Entertainment right up to the present, and even rekindled Space Precinct in books and audio?
Yes, very surprising. Quite fortuitous that I got in touch with Jamie after Gerry had died, just to say, send my condolences, and eventually he suggested we meet up, which we then did. And from that meeting, a friendship, and from that friendship, a podcast.
Yes.
And Fab Live, and books, and audio dramas, and all sorts of things. So, yes, constant surprise,
Yeah.
Certainly if you told me 30 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you.
No.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's 10 years ago that we met.
Yes,
I think 11 years, actually. I think it was the first Handicon.
Wow. There you
Don't know
go.
where that time's gone.
Yeah.
Kevin Gunther. Hi, Richard.
Hello.
Were you aware of Gerry's work before you landed your role on Space Precinct? And if not, did you do a bit of research into his previous shows?
I was aware, but not as aware as you might think. I didn't do any research because there wasn't really much research to be had. I didn't have a VHS recorder, I don't think.
No, it's not like you can just look it up on your phone now.
Exactly,
Can't do that.
that's right. The name Gerry Anderson certainly meant something to me, but I was never a big fan. I think I've said this before. I remember watching Space 1999, and funnily enough, I do have a residual memory of the Joe 90 Big Rat, the opening sequence, but I didn't know that until I started this sort of stuff. So yes, I was familiar with the name, but not in depth with the work. Yeah, for sure.
Rebecca Andrews says, "Hi Richard, do you have any memories or anecdotes of working with the Python team on The Wind in the Willows? Also, when Jamie isn't keeping you busy, do you still find time to write plays?"
I haven't written a play for a long time. I've got almost 26 plays, I think, published that are produced all around the world. I think there's just about every week there's a production somewhere of one of my plays, but I haven't written a play for probably 7 or 8 years now. Wind in the Willows, 1995, I think. I have lots of lovely memories. John Cleese turning up and demanding a 7-foot bed in his dressing room. I say demanding like he was being a diva. No, he just, he wanted a bed that would actually fit him to rest between his scenes. I remember I was a smoker in those days, to my shame, and I remember Steve Coogan bumming fags off me. I mean, thinking, but you're Steve Coogan. Yeah. Can't you afford your own? But lots of lovely memories working with Anthony Sher, Nicole Williams, and Terry Jones, Eric Idle. It's amazing. Yeah, lovely memories.
Great. Robert Monk asks, did you have a fallback career in mind if acting hadn't panned out? Also, are you ever frustrated or annoyed with fans who bombard you with items to sign? Do you get bombarded with items?
Yes, always. They just won't leave me alone, Chris. I hate it.
There's one here now.
It's always nice to meet fans. Of course, I realise they're not a fan of mine. They're a fan of the genre or the show, which is nice. Yeah, that's great. Did I have a fallback career? No, I didn't. And that's part of the problem, you see. I couldn't do anything else. I didn't do very well at school. Not because I was particularly, not an adept academically, but I just didn't try. I just spent too much time having a good time.
Your mind was elsewhere.
Yes, making people laugh and doing school plays and assemblies and things, and actually not bothering with work, not doing my homework, not really trying in the exams.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, so I left with nothing, really. I failed my A-levels. Oh. But by then I realised I wanted to be an actor and was applying for drama school. And applying for drama school, it didn't matter what your academic achievements were. It was all about the audition on the day. So I hoped I'd be okay. But no, never had a fallback career. And Charlotte would say that's my downfall.
Oh. Do you consider that you still don't have a fallback career?
I really don't. I don't have a fallback. I mean, this is all I can
work
do.
Out.
Yes, things just kind of work out, exactly.
So Predator and Prey is one of the particularly notable episodes for you because you played Kamada, as we saw earlier. But let's have a little look at Orrin in action from that episode as well.
Yeah.
I just want to get this guy,
And in the costume,
that's Rob Thurtle as well.
Yes.
What I love about this scene, particularly for Orrin, is the little look he gives around to check that he hasn't been spotted.
Yes. Yeah. And the fact that he almost has you on the floor.
Yes, remember, we couldn't see anything. There.
It's a very believable reaction, yeah.
Come on, Slomo, we haven't got all day. Okay.
Now, what's interesting about that scene, it obviously played for out-and-out comedy. It was a bit of a comedy subplot. Well, in the early days, I remember doing a scene with Tom Watt up in Podley's office. And as we left, we kind of did this Laurel and Hardy thing of trying to get out the door and bumping into each other. And then we carried on with the day's work, and then obviously the rushes or someone had seen it and was not impressed. Yeah. Maybe even Gerry himself, I don't know. And we all had to go back up to Podley's office, which was on the mezzanine floor.
Oh, yes.
It meant bringing up all the lights, all the cameras again to reshoot that scene. And both Tom and I felt like we had our tail between our legs a bit, and we were sort of reprimanded for playing the comedy too much. Fast forward, 8 episodes or whatever it was, and actually we are the comic relief.
Amping it up considerably.
Yes, absolutely. And there was, more of that as the series went on, and actually I think it worked.
That's what they're remembered for, and it does work.
Because, there were some storylines that were quite grim and quite dark, and obviously you need some sort of light relief to counter that. It was always fun to play.
Some comic relief from yourself being evil elsewhere in the episode.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
Jonathan Bell asks, what was it like working with David Tennant on Casanova?
Oh, yeah. This was about 2004, I think, 2005.
Just before Doctor Who.
That's right. They were filming the first series with Christopher Eccleston. That was underway. Because I remember at the read-through for Casanova, I was dying to ask Russell T Davies, roundels or no roundels in the TARDIS? Because we'd yet to see the TARDIS interior. And I remember also having a conversation with David Tennant. And he said, I told Russell, if I can't play Doctor Who, I'll play Casanova instead.
Oh.
Well, turns out he ended up playing Doctor Who, of course, just barely a year later. But he was nice. I mean, he does have a reputation as being a very nice man. From what I remember, he was very friendly, certainly open to chat. He was just on the cusp then of becoming, the star.
Megastar,
absolutely, yeah.
But it's incredible.
They filmed that Venice, Prague, Manchester. That's where I ended up.
Manchester, just for you, yeah. Oh, dear. Jeff Tilley, do you ever feel that your mask wasn't capable of certain expressions?
Oh, sure. Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, of course, because, only the top half was expressive, really. The bottom half, the jaw part, was kind of fixed. You had our mouths, but... it was tricky. So that's where your relationship with your operator, came into play, really. Lindsay, Nigel, Christine. And it was their job, really, in tandem with the actor, to try and make those things expressive. And when they work, they really work. But absolutely, I'm aware, there were some moments that, what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, that shot there, you highlighted Orrin's sort of furtive looking around.
Yeah.
That stuff, that anxiety, that comes across.
Yes.
But then I think there's one, it's Takeover, when he finds out that Romek fixed the whatever competition it was, and he pays him the money, and he starts laughing, and it's like... you're doing a lot with the mouth, but the rest of the mask can't convey that. And
that's right, exactly. And I guess, as the series went along and we realised what was required of us, I think perhaps we learned to be more expressive physically in the rest of our body, perhaps, to kind of try and make up for it. But of course, it had its limitations.
It's just all learning as you go along.
Absolutely right, yeah.
I suppose also you were sort of locked into the mask that you had from the start. Whereas Lou, a few episodes later, I feel the Romek mask is slightly more expressive.
Yes, maybe right. That may be right, yeah.
James Pilson Wood says, "Hi, Richard.
Hello, James.
Were you treated any differently physically on set as the man in the mask versus a human actor?"
I think it was, we mentioned this briefly earlier, it's very difficult to forget that there's an actor underneath there. So yes, we were treated differently, but not deliberately so.
Yeah.
Certainly weren't sort of disrespected or anything like that. It's just an accidental forgetting that there was someone underneath the mask, I think I make a joke in the book about sometimes it felt like everyone else went to lunch and just forgot about you. I mean, there were times where you'd be standing in the corner thinking something's going on, and then very slowly it dawns on you that everyone else has moved on to another part of the set, and you've just been left standing there because they finished with you. So that did happen, which Lou used to hate, of course.
Oh, yes.
But no, generally, we were all treated equally.
Yeah, which is quite right.
Yeah.
And also you say in the documentary that also came from like Ted and Rob.
Yes.
They would treat everybody equally.
Oh, absolutely right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was a great deal of respect for every department. Very often, perhaps not so much in TV, certainly in theatre, there is a dividing line which I try to cross between the crew and the actors. Yeah. Some actors that I work with really do adhere to that line and won't even socialise with members of the crew or even talk to them.
Oh.
Now, a studio or film set feels very different because you are absolutely beholden to those people around you. They do everything to make you look good.
Yeah.
They light you properly, they mic you up properly, they make you look and sound brilliant. So it's as well to keep on their good side. And we were just, Sharon Mansfield says in the documentary there, we were just a big family, and we all got to know each other so well.
Yeah.
And all had our kind of shorthand and ways to make each other laugh. And
we have some lovely stories in there from so many people who worked on the show, just saying how much they enjoyed their time that year at Pinewood.
If you spend a year in each other's company, you can't help but find things in common and enjoy each other's company, I think. Yeah.
So last question. Paul Hyder says, which acting job, Space Precinct aside, perhaps, have you been proudest of?
Been proudest of?
Yes.
I mean, I suppose I try and have pride in everything I do. Most of my work is like a line here and a line there, frustratingly. Yeah. Sometimes I get a guest role in an episode or something. I think two things then. So TV, a series called Sir Gadabout.
Oh, yes?
Sir Gadabout was on CITV, early 2000s, about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. It was kind of Blackadder meets Monty Python, kids' comedy, and I played a Knight of the Round Table called Suggestion. And I suppose I'm most proud of that because we really kind of, although we didn't write the episodes, we were encouraged to add things. So it felt like ours as a cast. It was really quite special. Very proud of that. And recently, I mentioned it already, as a Sherlock Holmes play I've done for the last 3 years every Christmas. Very proud of that.
A lot of our Podsterons have been to see that.
Yes, they have. Yes. Because, again, I felt like, even though that was originated in the States and there was a production off-Broadway, I felt like we had created that play from the ground up, really, and made it ours.
And it's in the Marylebone Theatre, just round the corner.
From Baker Street. Perfect.
Yes. Well, it should be.
And so it felt like, it's always nice as an actor to actually create something, rather than being parachuted in to say a few lines.
Yeah.
Which is nice for the credit and the money and so on. Actually, it's much nicer to be part of something where you feel like you're there from the beginning and it's your creation and you own it. Along with the rest of the company.
Yeah.
So, those two things, I think.
So much like Orrin in Space Precinct. You're there from the beginning.
Right.
And
yes. Although,
it still sticks with you.
And I'm not to say I'm not proud of that, but again, it didn't really feel like mine because that character was owned by so many people.
Yeah.
It wasn't my voice, so there's Kieran. It weren't my eyes, so that's Nigel. It wasn't my face, so that's Lindsay. They weren't my words, so that's the writers.
Yeah.
So, although I did create that part, it felt, it wasn't just down to me. Whereas in the theatre, I think the onus is much more on you as a single actor as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all for now. Where can our listeners and viewers find you if they want to find you at all?
Where can you find me? I've got a website, richardjamesonline.com. A few clips on there and pictures of my plays, and you can buy my books there and so on. And I'm on X at Richard N. James.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Blue Sky as well, I believe.
No, I'm not on them. No. For a while. I think the account might still be there, but I don't post.
Okay.
It all gets too much, Chris.
Yeah.
Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads.
Can't be bothered with it anymore.
No, I can't keep up.
No. So, all for now. But will you come back next week and talk to us some more?
No. Just this 1 week, Chris.
Oh, okay. Well,
tough.
Fine. I mean, it's fine.
Wasn't I fascinating?
Amazing.
You were wonderful.
Astonishing.
Wasn't that? Yeah. Amazing what you can find new to say about something that's 30
digging
years old.
stuff up still. The exhumation continues. It's quite something.
Yeah, thank you to the Podsterons for sending in their very insightful
lots of questions.
Yeah, it's great. I think finally we can put Space Precinct to bed.
No, that'll never happen. There'll always be something.
Yeah. Great.
Well, of course, because we could talk about the book, and then there might be new ones.
Yeah.
Now, I was supposed to bring in a copy of Fight the Future. Sorry, I forgot it. I drove away and went, I forgotten the Blu-ray. Got the Blu-ray.
Yes.
And then forgot the book. So,
well, I know that some Podsterons have been receiving the book.
Many people have bought the book.
They can tell us what they think. Email us podcast@gerryanderson.com. Let us know what you think about the fantastic new Space Precinct box set and Fight the Future, the new novel. Set in an alternate reality, which is sometimes where I feel this podcast.
I can't wait to read this.
Yes.
I really want one.
Great, good. I think it's about time, talking of the Podsterons, that we let them have their voice.
Oh.
Okay. Voice of the Podsterons.
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
Hi all, says Hannah.
Oh, straight in.
Come on, have a coffee while I speak.
Hi, Hannah.
I've had an Anderson merchandise idea. Funny enough, Jamie. That could be a bit of fun. How about some mugs, says Hannah.
Well.
That say things like, caution, may start talking about Thunderbirds. Or Space 1999, or Joe 90, or maybe even Torchy.
Or Crossroads to Crime.
Or Crossroads to Crime.
Nah, that's not going to sell.
Perhaps decorated with the sort of yellow and black warning stripes around the mug.
Nice.
Or an Anderson-themed warning logo instead. Could be something both simple and fun. What do you reckon? Please let me know from Hannah.
I think that's very fun. It's a nice meta idea for fans.
It's good, isn't it? Warning, may start talking about Space Precinct.
But that doesn't require us to do that.
Oh.
There's no branding on that, is there? So a Podsteron could do that on one of the print-on-demand sites like
I
Redbubble or another.
see.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be the gatekeepers of this stuff.
No, so as long as you don't include logos and things,
Yeah. Or,
just have the words.
Yeah, the words are
Warning,
fine.
May start talking about.
And that'd be great fun.
There are some interesting things on Etsy. I've
Very good.
often been tempted by, but never purchased.
Aha. Yeah, nice.
I have one from someone else. You see if you can guess during the reading of this.
Okay.
Hello, Richard, Jamie, and Chris.
Is it Hugh Porter?
It's not. No, because then I would have done the accent.
Australia,
No, I would never do the accent. I can't do the accent. Having heard the news of the Thunderbirds Blu-ray a couple of weeks ago, I let out a very audible yes in the pub.
Certainly audible.
Yeah.
In the pub?
In the
okay,
pub.
So someone old enough to drink, obviously.
Yeah. And I don't think the landlord's forgiven me. Landlord's
Right.
clearly not a Thunderbirds fan.
No.
I'd stop drinking there immediately. That aside, this month I'd like to tell you an idea that my Discord friends and I have been touting for quite a while now.
Is it William Landon Smith?
It's not.
She
You're,
seems like the type to have a Discord.
Yes.
you're running out of time.
And spend quite a bit of time in the pub.
Yes.
It continues. I've always thought that it was a crime that Gerry Anderson never wrote any stage musicals. So, in honour of Thunderbirds' 60th anniversary this year, we came up with something called Thunderbirds the Musical.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have a title yet.
It's Simpsons Clips 24, isn't it?
What do you all think? SIG from Simpsons Clips 24.
Yes.
Yes. Thunderbirds the musical.
I mean, how would you
Yeah.
stage this
Yeah.
Thunderbirds the Musical you
I can
speak
see
of?
a love duet between Parker and Penelope.
Well,
That one,
We've got
surely
one.
between Alan and Tintin.
Yeah.
Or Penelope and...
You've certainly got the
Jeff?
Parker.
Oh, yes.
Yes, milady.
yeah.
Oh, it's already been done, in fact. And we staged it in Birmingham
Yes,
last year.
that's
so,
true. Yeah,
so it
that's
was a
very
lovely
true.
thought.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Simpsons Clip 24.
And I've got one from Simon Frisbee.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if it would be possible for Jamie and co, I guess that's your name,
All of us. And Ross.
and Ross, to re-release the old network soundtracks to Space Precinct and New Captain Scarlet on CD. If nothing else, this would be the appropriate year to do both.
True enough.
Quite right too, yes.
Anniversary year for both.
Very good idea.
Yes.
What say
Now,
you?
well, I had seen this email when it came into the podcast mailbox.
Yeah.
And I thought, Simon Frisbee, what a great idea.
Yes.
So I immediately sent some emails to see if this would be possible.
Yeah.
And we don't yet have the final answer, but it looks like it might be possible in some format. So
Okay, cool.
stand by for further action and announcements.
Now, early days, of course. Would that be on the same volume then? Would you? Because Crispin Merrill is the common denominator here. Would you release one CD
No.
of assorted?
Separate, because they
releases?
could be more complete.
Yeah.
The Space Precinct set was 4 discs originally.
It was a big one.
Yes, we did talk about putting a disc of music in here, but it would have pushed the price up quite a bit.
Yes, it expands the pack and all that sort of stuff. So, no, but that is very possible. Great idea, Simon. Good shout. Something that kind of... There's so many ideas floating around. Sometimes things pass us by. So never be afraid to email in and suggest
indeed.
something, because we may have just not thought of it.
In fact, next week's guest, Simon Owen from Scale Extric, is here because of an idea from a Podsterong.
Oh, yes.
Very nice.
So, you know,
there you go, see?
Ask and it shall be given.
We make your dreams a reality.
and sometimes your nightmares.
That's mostly that.
Yeah, mostly. Talking of which,
Yes.
would you like to see me press the big red button to see
Oh,
what
you
we
pressed
find on
it,
the
did you?
randomiser this
Earlier on,
week?
we asked you to press the big red button.
Why did we
Passed
bother
over.
doing it earlier? Why don't we just do it now?
That's what I'm doing now.
Oh, I see.
Oh, do it now.
Yes,
doing it
pass
now.
over.
Right, we're breaking the narrative, but that's fine. This is it's all
Ready?
out the window.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. All right, Jamie.
So, okay, we're past Torchy. That would
Bound to be a good one.
Anything is better after.
You think? Okay. I mean, classic series.
We bow to your superior fingers.
Yeah.
That's what they call me.
Yes.
Thank you. No, only now.
That's what I'm going to call you from now on. I love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice bit of Thunderbirds.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Well, tell us all about it.
In 9 seconds or less.
Thunderbirds International Rescue, 32 episodes, and they fly out of Tracy Island on the big machines going whoosh, and they save people who are going help, help, and everything's fine. Podley.
9 seconds, but he did kill Podley.
Kill Podley.
It's very
Awkward.
good, isn't it? Specs on.
Oh, specs on. Using my superior fingers.
Ooh, here we go.
Lovely, isn't it?
It's quite exciting, isn't it? Mark Silk there, I think, doing the countdown.
Yes. Well, if you say so.
The proto Mark Silk.
Here's
dying
the
away.
thing. Here's the way the thing can go wrong, and then the next shot will be thing going wrong.
Yeah.
Ah, no.
Oh, it's already gone wrong.
Lovely Thunderbirds formula.
Oh, such a lovely thing to have these flashes of all the best bits.
Yeah.
It doesn't give it away, it just
No.
makes it exciting.
Yeah.
So anyone who says other than that, they're wrong.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
End off.
Okay, great.
Our job is done.
I should imagine everyone watching this now has got a big smile on their face.
I should hope so, yes.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah. One each, in fact.
Could you imagine this with another theme? Would it have been
Oh,
as
well,
successful in the series?
That lovely Flying High song by Barry
Flying
Gray.
High, yes.
Uh-huh.
Or the turbocharged Thunderbirds thing,
Oh,
possibly,
no.
Yes. Yes.
No, it's just so epic, so large scale, sets you up for all the big stuff to come.
Yeah.
And as John Coleshaw says, national anthem
Yes.
Yes.
candidate.
Yeah, for sure.
Bang, boom.
Ba 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 ba.
I always wince when I see the little supercar Blackrock Lab is on the right-hand side of the frame.
Does it upset
and it goes
you?
up in flames.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Chris,
very sad.
I'm sorry.
Well, we
I'll
can
get over it.
only hope that Jimmy and Mitch were still in there.
Yay!
Okay, off we go then.
Straight into it with a lovely model.
We are now flying at 3,000 feet, folks. Beneath us are the clouds, and below them, way down, is the ground. We are up here to show you people are really...
Matt Zimmerman,
Yes.
why was he always reportery type
I don't know, he
characters?
does a lot of
Really?
reporters in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just... He's got a good voice for it.
Yeah.
It was Ned Cook and Eddie Kerr and one or two others. Yeah. Yeah, I think David Holliday did one once and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't Matt Zimmerman.
Just had a voice for it.
Yeah.
But, sorry, Richard, you were about to say something vital.
No, go on, please, after you.
I was just going to say, just a lovely visual of this enormous tower above the clouds.
Exactly, the scale is incredible, isn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, how big would that have been in real life, Chris?
Well, I suspect probably not all that big.
Really? What?
There would be different sections
Yeah.
of models and such.
It is a completely self-contained city. Every single commercial item produced throughout the entire world can be obtained on these 350 floors.
Which is
Including
now
your
a
Space
new
Precinct Bluray.
a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
In where is it? Where they're doing the line, isn't it called? This enormous mega city where
Yes,
everything
that's
is
right, in the desert
self-contained.
somewhere, Saudi Arabia or something, yes.
Yeah. It's yet
Gosh.
another thing predicted by
Yeah.
Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Tremendous feat of engineering skill and commercial achievement.
And nothing will go wrong.
Basement of a honeycomb of corridors and parking space for 10,000 automobiles. A monorail 4 miles long links the...
That's not nearly enough parking, is it?
That
Let's face
size
it.
of building, no.
For a shop that has everything, plus hotels.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. We don't need to worry about that amazing
No,
new structure.
that was just
It's
an
fine.
aside.
Yeah,
Fine.
nothing will go wrong there.
Oxyhydnite power rising to 27,000. Pressure 4, 5.
So this is the third episode in production order, which means this is one of the ones that had to be sort of rewritten a bit with
extended.
additional material. Yes.
Right.
And there are some where it is kind of obvious that that's what they've done, where characters spend the first half of an episode throwing themselves into the pit of peril before they realise that actually International Rescue could do all this better. Here we just take more time with the characters. This little subplot as well about this new firefighting equipment that they've got.
Which isn't a bad choice, is it? To use that extra time to explore the characters a little more.
Yeah, it's one of the strengths of the show.
Yeah.
Expected.
Looks like you've done it again, Brain.
Well, it's a little early to tell, Mr. Tracy, but the signs are favorable.
You're doing great, boys.
So humble.
Cut a panel large enough to get through, and we'll call it a day.
Okay, Father.
Ooh, a bit smoky though, isn't it?
Yes.
And this is, I think it's this scene. There's behind the scenes footage of this being shot as well on the Blu-rays and DVDs.
Oh.
Oh no, the green light.
Or what does that mean?
It means
We don't know.
go. It means good.
It's generally good, isn't it?
It's generally good.
Must be great
yeah.
news.
Yeah.
Brain.
Could be normal reaction to concentration, Mr. Tracy.
There's something quite thrilling about seeing real fire and flames
Yes.
and sparks and things, isn't there?
And at that scale, and
Yes.
at the hands of the puppets.
Yes. Well, what colour will it be now? It's green again.
Is that the exact same shot again?
Could be.
Wasn't there? Yeah, I don't think it was a different one. I felt like a way to add a few seconds in there.
Yeah.
I love when Jeff says they appear to be working fine, almost enjoying themselves. It's like, how can you tell? Oh no.
Oh no.
The green light is getting greener.
Nearly there, Scott. Yeah, a few more minutes.
Okay.
Oh,
I see. It's
Virgil.
some sort of low on oxygen.
You've got the blinkers on, anyway.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
All right.
Careful.
Virgil, answer me. Are you...
It's the beginning of an industrial safety short.
Yes.
Answer me, Scott.
Oh, brains. You've created the thing that makes them feel tired.
We've done it again.
Carbon monoxide poisoning?
Sounds normal, but something's wrong.
Oh.
Those gas cylinders, Brains. Let's get them out of there.
Yes, Mr. Tracy.
Scott hasn't noticed.
I mean, I guess there actually was a real hazard in using real fire around these models and material that I bet wasn't flame retardant.
Well, allegedly, that's what did for Venus in Fireball XL5.
Right.
They blew her up during the production of the final episode. So people involved with it say.
Right.
She either caught fire or was caught in an explosion and no one rushed to rescue her.
Caught in, yes. Thrown into.
Accidentally, yes.
Well, Brains, is there any change in the boys?
I'm afraid not.
He must feel terrible.
Yeah.
Mustn't he?
You have? Well, what went wrong? Was it the masks that were faulty?
No, I checked them, Mr. Tracy, and they're perfectly sound. Scott and Virgil are physically okay, but the blood samples show positively that the gas entered through the pores of the skin.
Oh, okay. You don't want that.
No, there's no sign of any gas left in their bodies.
Oh, at all? They'd probably be dead in that case, wouldn't they?
Yes.
How are you feeling?
So can gas enter the body through pores in the skin?
I would have thought so.
Interesting physiological question.
Yes.
I mean, not to get too grim, but we talk about people being gassed.
Is that because they breathe it in?
They're breathing in, but would there be some that makes contact? We'll have to find out.
How?
Podsterons, if you know of gassing people kills
I'm going to find out while we carry on watching. It's crucial we find out.
That's very good, yes.
You're a good sleep.
Hello, son. How do you feel now?
Hey, what's all this bedside manner stuff?
I love the 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Virgil's hair is all messed up.
That's right.
What happens now, Brains?
Well, I get that.
We bring in Alan and Gordon and gas them as well, Mr. Tracy.
What of us? Can't we get up? All right then, boys, but take it easy.
There are a very limited number of gases
Yes.
that can be absorbed through the skin, including methyl mercury and dimethyl mercury, both of which can be lethal.
Oh,
Wow.
So it could have been that.
could have been that.
Could be.
Yep.
Wow.
Scientifically accurate Thunderbirds.
Hooray. Meanwhile,
Oh, could that be the least ugly child puppet of all of the Supermarionation series, other than Joe? I mean,
other than
assuming.
Joe, yeah, I think possibly, yeah.
Because Thunderbirds specialised, I think, in ugly child
children.
puppets.
People like that cause accidents. They're a menace.
Wow. Is that it, Dad?
Gee.
Oh, look.
I love the perspective shift as well on that.
It's very effective, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's such a long way from the store, Joe.
Sure, honey. 4 miles. Space for 10,000 wagons covers a pretty big area. Here we go.
I love that this is so clearly meant to be America, and yet the traffic in the background is like off the Slough Trading
Off the
Estate or
M4,
something.
yeah.
Right. It's very quiet, isn't it? It's just the one car.
Well, the counter said
outside.
8,802, I think, so I
They're
suspect
all in there already.
only 20% of space, or less than that, 10% of space is remaining. He found one straight away, though. Look at all those spaces.
Everyone's very chill about it.
That way, Blanche. Follow that sign to the monorail.
Blanche, what a name.
And now we get something that hasn't aged especially well.
Patrol car stopping me like that. The nerve of those guys.
Forget it, dear. You only got a ticket. Concentrate.
Is it the henpecked husband?
Possibly you're looking in the wrong place.
Is it the, I can't drive female? Is that the...
Right.
I mean, again, we can laugh at it through a lens of the time.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's funny in a different way now than it probably was intended to be. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You broke the ticket machine.
Oh, gosh, that was...
Hang on, is this the beginning of the disaster?
In Thunderbirds, what are the chances? Richard, come on.
Caused by a woman?
A woman, you say? I mean, look.
Hilarious.
Oh, wow,
This
look
is
what she's
happens.
done.
I had no idea. That's brilliant.
Gosh, this is like the Harry Enfield Women Know Your Limits sketch.
That's right.
Gosh. Let's just say we don't endorse that view here on the Gerry Anderson podcast. What's a lovely corridor map there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right now I'm trying to figure out which way to get.
They don't seem terribly panicked, bearing in mind they've caused a raging inferno.
Well, they didn't.
Oh, sorry,
They're looking
there
for
is
the
a raging
monorail.
inferno just
Yeah.
moments away.
Little do they know.
Sorry, that was me.
That's all right.
Tarring that wife with the same brush as the bad driver.
So,
Oh dear.
Wow.
I mean, it doesn't bode well.
very impressive visuals. A little faster.
Yeah.
A little faster. There we go.
Yeah. So there's control.
A control tower for the shopping centre, yes.
Yes.
Right.
Remote.
Which is a good idea, I suppose.
Yes, maybe.
1 and 2. Check all sprinkler systems and alarms.
And everything, as we find out, is broken.
Oh.
Systems negative.
Oh dear.
Operate emergency systems.
It's no good.
Literally everything.
Right.
Don't look at me.
In this brand new, what do they say, architectural and commercial success or
Yes,
something?
yeah.
Well, it's bloody not, is
Oh,
it?
Day
hang on,
one.
they've got a moving desk.
Oh, the desk
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything for them works fine. Yeah, the coffee machine still works fine and such. Yes.
Oh dear.
Corridor A12 clear.
Oh, we're not going to go through every corridor.
Every
now.
single corridor. There's a lot of corridors to get through, yes. But if this were real, every corridor would be jammed solid with very angry people.
Yes.
Yes.
If
That's
this were
right.
like, Amazon, the building, it
Yeah,
would just
assuming
be
there were
unbearable.
two people in each car on average. I mean, that's 17,500
Yes.
people.
It's odd that there's no one else around, but that's the limitations of working with puppets, I
Of
guess.
course.
It is also kind of just the world of Thunderbirds.
Yes,
sure.
There's never normally that many people around.
No. But it doesn't normally distract when you're watching
No,
it. You don't
no.
care. But it's just because we're being picky.
Yeah.
Have been alerted.
And this is always good value. Emergency vehicles rushing around in Thunderbirds.
Section 12. The people in the tower won't see them there. It's vital that we don't scare anyone. And if we're lucky, we won't need the tenders.
Okay.
What are the chances we won't
Yeah.
be lucky?
We'll be fine.
Just because all the sprinklers aren't working, there's no reason to look on the bad side.
That's right. Leave the child alone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hide. I bet you won't find me.
Oh, yes, we will.
Oh, no, you won't.
I bet you won't find me amongst all these people.
No, he's going in the danger keep out
The
door.
air conditioning plant.
It's all spiralling out of control, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It was always going so well.
D49.
And meanwhile, the couple who caused all this trouble in the first place are legging it across the field.
Yes. Do we see them again?
Yes.
Okay. They have
But
survived then.
They have survived. They don't appear to be held accountable for their actions either, so...
This is the police.
Yes.
We're coming in to get you. Don't make a move. We've got you covered. The place is surrounded.
Again,
Puppet.
kind of charming.
Puppet finger guns. It's quite
Yeah.
sweet, yeah.
Keep moving. You're under arrest. Okay.
It's quite a sweet
It is,
moment
yeah.
with kids and
But a bit unbelievable
parents.
because most parents in that situation
Yes.
would be, no, just go, look, will you
Yes.
just,
That's right. We've come for a nice day shopping.
Yes, you're ruining it. Yes.
well, that must be the door around them, surely, for us to see it.
See.
Sealed.
Sealed. Yes.
Well, now let's find our way out of this maze.
Oh. Wow.
That's a great card.
Dramatic.
Say, Blanche, we can't go that way. It's blocked.
I told you you should have bought a guidebook.
A guidebook for the corridors of the car park. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh. I've just noticed his shoes.
I missed them. Are they correspondent
Very
shoes?
nice shoes.
See. That means we can contain the fire in areas 1 and 2.
Well, that's a relief.
Burn ourselves out down there.
Have those fire tenders standing by.
And those 4,000 cars that are in there.
Yeah.
Well.
Oops.
The main vent seal has failed to operate.
Oh, nothing works in this place. Goodness me.
It's almost like Jeff Tracy has come to an agreement with certain people building things like this.
Yes.
You know, don't put in too much safety stuff.
Yeah.
We need to be able to come and rescue you.
Yeah.
Fire tenders and get to work on that vent cover.
That's an interesting sting there.
Yeah, it's leftover gangster music from Supercar.
Yeah.
And have them standing by, ready to move in at a second's notice.
That's Matt Zimmerman as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
He's very busy in this episode.
Very, yes. Yeah. Although there was one line earlier on where for some reason he was Ray Barrett for one line. But yeah, I think actually this is... No. I was going to say this is Matt Zimmerman's first episode, but I think he might have been in the previous one. Certainly his first major role.
Yeah. Lovely vehicles.
Yeah.
Siegel in position?
No, sir.
What do you think? Everything's broken. The good news is these flashing lights still work.
And the spinny desk is great.
Okay. Move those tenders in. We can't wait any longer.
But the people in the tower will panic if they see 20 appliances screaming towards them.
They'll see nothing at all if those flames are not put out.
Ooh.
Oh, fair point.
Yeah. That is something I find is slightly disappointing with this episode. Not that I want to see a load of panicking puppets, but you don't see anything from inside the tower itself.
Yeah.
That would help sell this a bit more. Because I don't know how these people actually get out.
Yeah, right.
That's not the important bit, though.
No. I mean, it's this massive disaster, but it boils down to these three people who are trapped underground, and that's
which, as
Thunderbirds.
a concept, is
great.
It's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, just the supporting stuff and puppets held at waist height and go, would be great.
Ciao, long.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
It's on fire. They've shut us in. Open this door.
Good knocking.
Yeah, very good knocking.
Oh, dear.
And it is also what people sometimes say about this episode. It is the Towering Inferno 10 years or whatever before the Towering Inferno was
really?
a thing.
Okay, yeah.
I'm having so much fun on the swivelly desk.
Central control. All pumps operational, but we're not holding the fire.
Oh, no, plainly not.
I'm surprised that all pumps are operational, considering everything else.
Yeah.
I love that little figure on the right-hand side, just one guy standing behind the fire engine. Some good stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, actually.
Yes.
It's a really lovely thing.
Section 19 evacuated.
It's going up like matchwood.
Why don't they let us out?
Help! We're down in the basement.
Mom, where's the smoke coming from?
Under the door, dummy.
Yes. We've established that. Weren't you listening?
Please!
Oh, yeah, lovely.
Someone, let us out!
And it also is a problem that today you'd just be like, hey, I'm trapped in the basement,
Yes.
doors are locked, come get me. You know?
Yeah, you might put a signal down there, a bit of a Faraday cage, I imagine,
Could
underground
be,
car park.
yes, yes, with all those explosions and such.
Yeah.
Say, wait.
Just a minute.
Finally.
Corridors, they were empty.
Maybe. But there are 3 people in there now. And we've got to get them out.
Yeah.
But how? It's impossible.
Everything's broken.
No one can get near the sub-basement entrances.
We've lost the picture.
Oh.
Which corridor were they in?
D50. But we can't reach that. What are we gonna do?
I've got an idea.
I just
don't know.
I mean,
it was a 50-50 guess as to whether he would.
Yeah.
What's your idea, Richard?
well, I think you call the Thunderbirds.
So there's rescue.
Someone will rescue us.
Someone.
Aha! But who?
How do you feel now, boys? Mighty strange stuff, that gas of brains.
Yeah, he's working on it now.
Oh, I love that Scott's reading a book called Science. But perhaps it's a magazine.
It's quite a slim book, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
More like a
whole of
pamphlet,
science.
Yeah.
Say, Tintin is sure enjoying herself.
What's she up to?
Gosh. Swimming puppets. That's,
Reckon you're in the best place. Boy,
I always worry about them in the water. With the lip sync mechanism, I never understood how safe they were in water. But obviously no problems, but
join in an hour. His term of...
Considering water breaks most electrical things.
It'd be nice to see him again. He must get lonely up there.
Someone finally raises the
Yes.
question. Would you get lonely in Thunderbird 5?
Yes.
I don't think I would.
Will it? What? Just on your own?
I think I'd be fine.
I think I'd love a bit of quiet time up there, to be honest.
Maybe take a hamster up there or something. Just someone to talk to. A little budgie, maybe. Yeah, hamster or a budgie. Yeah. Or maybe not a budgie. It might start answering the distress calls. But
Do you work for you?
Less than 2 hours to go. Then back to work.
John's bedroom.
Can't wait to dive into that pool. Sure gets lonely up here.
Oh,
he gets lonely.
Wish I had a hamster. Or a budgie.
Or a budgie.
Longer now.
Yeah, it's pretty. It is pretty boring up there, isn't it? Well,
he's got a lot of books in his room.
Calling International Rescue. This is Thompson Tower. Do you read me?
Thompson Tower from International Rescue, receiving you, strength 5. Go ahead.
The tower's on fire. The firefighters can't control it.
Cut to the chase.
We need help bad. My buddy here said you were the people to contact. You're our only hope.
So if you don't pull this off, it's his fault.
How did he know how to contact them?
You just send out the call and they pick it up.
Yeah,
Right.
just a broad frequency.
Okay,
yeah.
It's like an SOS. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
Thunderbird 5 is that good.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get help to you as quickly as possible.
Thank goodness I remembered that outfit.
The one with the sequins and... Oh, no, sorry.
The building.
Oh, look at that. Falling debris.
Oh, nice.
Right.
What's he reading? I didn't even see
Very
that.
chill day. Kine?
Kitty? Cinema, isn't it?
Oh, photos. Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
The new Thompson Tower is on fire, Father. 3 people are trapped beneath the building.
Only
Not
3,
much
though.
time.
Only 3. Yeah.
Well. So everybody else got out?
I guess
We're
so.
assuming.
Yeah. I mean, what are the chances that the doors don't work, or considering everything else doesn't work? Yeah, there's no sort of sense that people are being evacuated. They're just out.
Yeah.
He says that they are.
Yeah.
Doing in that corridor. That's the last place I'd want to be trapped in a fire.
Top of the building, probably worse.
Yeah, or in the fire itself.
Yeah.
I mean, the car park can't be the best place to be.
I can think of some worse places.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Why doesn't someone come? They can't just leave us to die down here.
You better get over there right away, Scott. We won't know all the details.
Gordon's got a very narrow waist.
Keeping trim.
Minutes since we called International Rescue, and still no word.
Where are they?
Yeah.
They're all busy reading their books by the pool.
We have received your call for help. Give me all the information you have.
We're transferring you to the relevant department now. Wasting no time with the launches here.
No, it's too much of a hurry.
Yeah, it's very important.
There's a family of 3 to save.
Yeah.
Great peril.
And some nice shoes.
Yeah.
Yes, more importantly.
Okay, I get the picture. Thunderbird 1 will be with you soon. Right, Virgil. Launch Thunderbird 2. You'll need the mole. Right, Father?
Oh, planning ahead. Do you miss seeing the full ramps and launching and all that sort of stuff?
Not really at this point, no.
To be continued?
Oh, no.
I thought we were watching the whole thing. Wow.
There we are, part 1. Part 2
Nice.
next week. I mean, it's going well, isn't it? So far.
It is.
I'm enjoying it.
Very enjoyable.
Yes, I mean...
I do have a question, though.
Right.
And it's something I've wondered about ever since I first saw this episode. Perhaps someone can enlighten me. How does the tower catch fire? What causes that to happen?
All the fuel in the cars, I think. You've basically got a
But the
furnace.
car park is 4 miles away from the tower.
Yeah.
As they said multiple times.
Yes.
So
it's either 2 miles that way and 2 miles back, or
there's a
something.
monorail that connects it though. So I guess the flames go down the monorail.
I have an
things.
image of something like out of, say, Police Squad, someone catching fire in the car park, hopping on the monorail, travelling all the way to the tower,
Yes.
and getting out the other end. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But otherwise, that's a very small
point.
nitpick.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
It's quite a large
It
nitpick.
is really, isn't it?
Yes, yes. But still doesn't.
No, you've ruined it now.
We can forget it and forgive it.
Okay,
Get it and enjoy it.
It's 4 miles wrapped into a very tight coil.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good. Well, let's see how the very tight coil unsprings next week as we watch part 2 of City of Fire.
It's a very tight coil of doom. It should be.
We'll also have, I think, the first part of my interview with Simon Owen from Scale Extract.
Not more of you.
Next week.
Okay.
What?
I thought it was more you next week.
No. Just we can only have 1 week of Richard. That's a lot. Fair enough. What will he be bringing to the table?
Well, hopefully something rather nice to play with.
That'd be nice. Because we don't have much to play with on the table that's nice.
Join us then.
Oh, that's it.
Bye.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get started.
Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
Were you expecting more?
I'm always expecting you in 2 parts.
What could we add, do you think, in terms of value to the podcast then? More.
Podcast commentaries.
Podcast commentaries.
Will we listen to previous podcasts and comment on them?
That's a very good idea.
I mean, do we need to get that meta?
I would like to go back and listen to the podcasts that we recorded when I was on tour and I was doing it either from my dressing room or from strange people's houses.
Oh, yeah.
And
I remember them
that.
well. When I was editing.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Let's do that, shall we?
Or
okay,
we could
great.
Start doing Blu-ray releases of the podcast.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah. Very niche.
Very niche, but there's a market.
We get royalties as well.
I feel like Protectors on Blu-ray is more likely than podcast on Blu-ray.
Okay, right. We'll work on that then.
Sorry.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.